3 swing killers to avoid. In my 30 years of experience in teaching golf, I've found these 3 things to be the biggest problem for the major part of amateur players. So check out this video, understand what you're doing wrong and how you can put it right. Swing killer number 1, problems with the grip. Okay, left hand for a right-handed golfer, the opposite for a left-handed golfer, grip is too weak. It's too far round to the left. It's too high up in the hand. It's right in the palm of the hand. And when I grip the club this way, what happens? First of all, when I swing back, that club face is going to be incredibly open. Okay, as you can see, it should be in this position. That's far too open. That's the first one. Second one, when I swing back, I haven't got the ability to use my wrists. I can't get my wrist hinging into a good position. Okay, so what happens is, if I can't use my wrist, I need a second lever in my golf swing. And what happens? It comes from the left arm. So I'm going to start over swinging. I'm going to start losing control of the club. That means I've got to fry it back. All sorts of things are going to happen. And obviously the last one, weak grip, when I swing back, if I bring the back of my left hand square to the target, which is a correct position, the club face is going to be well open, which means I have to use my hands a lot. I'm going to end up scooping underneath it, going to get bad strikes, the ball's going to go flying, it's just not going to be powerful. So what do we need to do? It's nothing difficult, quite simple. We've just got to get, number 1, the club face in the right position. So the leading edge of the club is going to be in a straight line. That's the first thing. The second thing, my left hand, I'm going to grip down in the fingers diagonally, right down where my index finger is just hooking underneath, and you can see that the club will pass through the top of the little finger. Okay, so I've got it diagonally, I hook it underneath, it's down in the fingers, and then I'm just going to grip over the top, and my thumb is down the right side of the grip. My thumb and forefinger are touching, and they've created a V shape which is pointing to the right shoulder. From here, I can see 4 knuckles. When I put the club down, I can now see 2.5. 2.5 to 3 knuckles is good. I've kept the club face square, and I've got the left hand in a perfect position. That's going to allow me to, 1, keep the club a little bit more closed on the backswing. 2, hinge my wrist better and not my left arm. And 3, bring that club into a position where the club head is de-lofted, the club face is square, so I'm going to get a more powerful impact and a straighter shot. So let's give it a try and see what happens. So, left hand stronger on the grip, take my position, I can keep everything nice and square, I can hit the shot, creating that powerful impact. It's gone dead straight and I didn't have to hit it hard. Club face control, very, very important. Let's go to step number 2. Swing killer number 2 is when the body is just moving around too much. I'm swaying off the golf ball. What happens? A lot of amateurs tend to maybe sway their top half off the golf ball. Okay, and what's going to happen from here? It's going to bring all of this ground here into play. And with an iron, that's going to be a huge problem. Okay, second, I get swaying from the hips. So my left shoulder drops, my body doesn't turn. I'm now in a position, once again, I can come down too vertical, or I change direction, and once again, I'm just going to duff it or top it. Third one is I move the whole lot. That's like the worst one of all. So what do we need to do? I've put this alignment stick here just to give you an idea of what it is to rotate on the inside of this alignment stick. And I've put one on the ground, diagonally into the ground with a golf ball directly under it. Now I'll explain exactly what I'm trying to do. So this is on the outside of my right heel, okay, of my shoe. I'm just going to make a position where I'll take my setup. Now I've got the ball directly under the alignment stick. So I can see the alignment stick in the middle of that golf ball. So as I rotate back my body, I'm going to get the feeling that this club is pointing to the ground, that my right hip is moving away from the alignment stick. Okay, it can stay the same distance or it can move away. And that means I'm rotating perfectly the body in a powerful, tight coil, but I'm not swaying. If anything, there's a slight movement this way. That's the first thing. And as I'm doing this, I can also see the golf ball still under the alignment stick, which is fantastic. That just gives me the chance to not just feel my backswing, I can drive and get back to impact, and I've moved my body to left, but I'm still seeing that golf ball under the alignment stick. So it's a really good way to practice with the club on the shoulders. Now, what I'm gonna do is try a shot this way. And this is such a great station just to practice these movements. So here, here, okay? So I'm just gonna try and keep that golf ball under there. I'm not gonna touch, I'm gonna move away from that alignment stick. I'm gonna try and keep that alignment stick on top of the golf ball through my swing. Yeah, I hit it a little bit heavy, to be honest. I did hit before the golf ball, but the important thing is I've built the sensation. I've created this feeling of rotating away from the alignment stick, seeing the ball under, driving through, and obviously that is going to give me a chance to be much more repetitive, and it's going to be so much easier to find the golf ball every time. Let's go to number 3. Third swing killer to avoid, the famous chicken wing. When we get through the shot and we see this horrible position, but why does it happen? What's happening in our swing to create this? It's not powerful, the golf ball goes offline, and you're going to have problems with your strike. You're not going to be consistent. Now, when we see the top plays, what do we see? We see this straight line release. We see that when they're through into this position, that the arms are extended at about a 45-degree position after impact, that the club is bisecting my forearms and straight into my belly button. The head's still down, you know, they're rotating and they're tilted over the shot and they go through to this finish. Most amateurs, this way. So what is the difference? What are the amateurs doing wrong? Well, what happens is it all starts, let's say we've made a perfect backswing, everything's going good. It all starts from the first movement, that you throw the club head to the golf ball, or your weight doesn't get over to your left side, you stay on your right side. When I'm in this position, the low point of my swing is here. So I'm either gonna throw that club into the ground, or I'm just gonna pull up, I'm gonna pull away, and I'm just gonna hit the top of the golf ball. Okay, so it can happen that you even start the movement in the correct way, you get to this point and then you just flick at the last minute because your body's not rotating. So the important thing is to understand what the golf pros are doing. They're doing 2 things, well let's say 3 things, but 2 things above all, which is very, very important. When they start their downswing, just before they complete the backswing, they're driving into the left leg. They're driving that foot into the ground, that knee's going over that left leg. They're driving forwards. The club, the arms are swinging down, okay? You're not throwing the club head, the arms are swinging down. Now we've created a situation where my hands are in front of my right leg, okay? So, drive in, get the club swinging down. These are 2 key things to strike the golf ball good. Then what do they do from this position? They get the forearm. You see the back of my watch, the back of my forearm, back of my left hand is rotating to the target. From this position, they drive through and you can see my arms are now extended. I'm making a divot after the golf ball. Drive, arms down and drive through. And this is a great way to feel the movement. So I just do these little swings and I build up this movement. I keep trying to make the divot after the golf ball. Now, a good exercise to help this is if I start off in this position. So I set up, I drive into my left leg, I turn my body, which is really key. My hands are in front, I feel the pressure into the ground with my hands, then I move back, then I feel it again, then I move back, I do one more, I feel it, then I make a little backswing, I drive through and I stop. And I just try to keep a short finish. You can see that the club head is in front of my body. I've created a straight line release and the club is going through the middle of my forearms, pointing to my belly button. So if you do that, like at least, I don't know, 5 minutes of practice, trying to build up this feeling. So driving to the left leg, turn, place pressure into the ground with your hands. So the shaft is kind of bending, okay? Do it again. 1, 2, I hold it on the third one, swing back, boom, and I just drive through it. I didn't take a divot on this one, but I did hit the grass after the golf ball. When you've done it for a few shots, what do? You just set up, you make a full swing, and you just try to feel it. So I can make a full swing. I just want to feel it a couple of times. That's good. Driving into the left leg, turning, putting pressure. Okay, make a full swing and see what happens. Yeah, that was really good. I even felt better than normal in that one. I created so much pressure. So I got rid of the chicken wing and I got a straight line release. So these 3 swing killers, if you work on them, you're going to find you hit the ball longer and straighter. Be your best.